So Cannondale is one of those brands that is all about having all of the options. Not only do they have the great Cannondale Topstone that Hannah rode for us today, but they've also got a cross version and a really wide variety of bikes that are able to go on any type of terrain. So I'm here with Hannah Wood from our women's gravel team. You just came back from Moab of a very exciting set of races. And I think you're ready to talk about the Cannondale Topstone.
Yeah, excited to talk about it.
So the way that we're going to talk about the bike is by distributing points across 5 different categories. The categories that we've got are speed, handling, comfort, versatility, and value. And as we talk through those, we're going to take 100 points and we're going to add those into all of those categories to make up how this bike performs out in the real world. We're in Carrizo Plain and you've had a lot of time to ride the bike. So let's get into it and let's talk about how this bike performs. All right, so first category is speed, and you awarded 25 points to the Topstone. Topstone isn't actually Cannondale's ultra-fast bike, but out here in all of the kind of buff gravel, the thing feels pretty fast. How does it feel on all these good roads out here in Carrizo?
Yeah, so around here, it's very rolly. So you got your uphills, your downhills, and I thought it actually carried momentum pretty well. I never felt like it was sluggish. It was not crazy fast, but it kept the momentum on the uphills and the rollers.
Yeah, I think like that's one of the big things is like they've tried to design a bike that does a lot of things and making it still feel like it can carry that momentum in all of this different type of terrain is something that's really important. How did it feel when you got on the pedals and actually like sprinted or put a lot of power into it?
I would say it didn't shoot off and it didn't feel like a rocket, but it still felt pretty stiff and like that it moved pretty well.
Yeah.
I would be happy riding on it and racing on it. It was really solid.
Cool. All right, next up, we're going to talk handling. The roads in Carrizo are pretty windy. They roll like you were talking about with speed. But for handling, you awarded 20 points. How does it feel on these roads and in the corners? And I guess we do have a couple of big descents that we came over today.
Yeah, I would say this bike is really nice for like the open, fast type of terrain. I think it would be interesting trying it on more techie single track, but out here, I thought it handled really nice on kind of some of the divots where it's a little rocky and you went down. It felt really stable throughout.
Yeah.
All the riding.
Well, I think that's something too, right? Like you can't have a fast bike that feels twitchy. And so like there's a bunch of big baby head rocks that just kind of come out of nowhere. You'll go through and there'll be something that's washed out. And I think like having a bike that handles and feels stable, like really does play into making the bike not only feel good and confident, but also feel fast. How does that kind of play into speed, you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I took some really bad lines and I knew like sand pits hitting a rock and the bike just was fine. I knew that it would be fine because it was not super twitchy. But I think the speed as well, like it carried speed, it held lines, and it was pretty confidence inspiring, I would say.
Cool. Cannondale has done a great job, I think, of trying to build in compliance features into the frame. And so we're talking comfort. However, this is the lowest score that you gave at 15 for the bike. So what do you think it is that makes this bike maybe have a little lower comfort score than the speed and handling that you've already awarded?
Yeah, I found that sometimes it was a little harsh. I think one thing I would have done is change the tires. Just throw some like 40, 42s on there. It would have probably handled a little better, been a little softer, less harsh. Some of the rocks, I was like, ooh, the front end feels a little harsh, but just throw on some different tires and it would be much better.
I think that, Cannondale has done a really good job though. The back end of this bike is suspended in a lot of ways. It's got a completely separated chainstay from the bike that does help make the rear end feel a little more compliant. But if you're running a small tire and if you're hitting big bumps out here, yeah, I'll agree with you. 15 points for comfort seems pretty fair based on the terrain and tire choice. So being in Carrizo Plain, this place is a gravel playground. Honestly, we're here, camping from one location and we get to ride from this location and go other places. So versatility really doesn't matter. You got to throw a couple water bottles on, but you gave it 20 points for versatility. And I think one of the things you were talking about was like, this would be a great bike to kind of do everything, to be a camping bike potentially.
Yeah, I mean, coming here right now, I'm like, I wish I could just bike pack around here, throw some bags on, stay out here for a couple of days. It would be the perfect bike with the mounts and yeah, you could load it up and it would feel great.
Yeah, Cannondale's done a great job. There are mounts for almost everything on it. There's plenty of room inside of the frame that you could put a frame bag. You could easily put a seat bag off the back or a bar bag. You could totally use this for a weekend of camping, bike packing, anything like that, and still have a bike that has those speed and handling characteristics that you like about it.
Yeah.
All right, so we got to talk about value, but you're on a very high-end model. You get to ride the Gucci one that has all the bells and whistles. How did this one feel?
Oh, it was great. I mean, the Force is an awesome group set, really nice carbon handlebars and really good wheels. So, I mean, that's all you need right there.
But I think one of the nice things about Cannondale is that they've also got models of the Topstone that go all the way down below 2,000 bucks. So you can get onto an aluminum version of the bike that gives you a lot of the same performance characteristics, the ability to run big and narrow tires and really use a bike for pretty much everyday stuff. I think this might be the bike in this test that we've got out here in the desert that has the widest variance in price. So 20 points awarded to value. I think that makes a lot of sense. All right, so that is all we wrote about the Cannondale Topstone. Fast, comfortable, bike does pretty much everything well. I think this is probably the bike that is the most neutral across the line. It handles well, it's nice and comfortable, it's got a lot of versatility, it's got value depending on where you want to be. Good time on it?
Oh yeah, I'm excited to ride more. Awesome bike.
Yeah, cool. If anybody has any questions on the Cannondale Topstone or you want to know anything more, please stop by the website and get a hold of our online team, or stop by any of our stores in California or Colorado. We're here to answer your questions. Anna, thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
And we'll see you on the next one.